Saludos familia, les habla Jesús, administrador del grupo Todo sobre Lucha Libre. Y en la entrevista del día tenemos, señoras y señores, a Vernon Black. Hello, Vernon, how you doing?
I'm doing good today. How about yourself?
Fine, thank you. Okay, Vernon, just tell me the history of why do you become a wrestler?
Basically, ever since I was a kid, I've always wanted to wrestle. My grandpa got me into it. He started watching it. And to this day, I can still go over there to his house and he'll talk about what happened on Raw, what happened on SmackDown. And that's something we had in common. Like I say, ever since, there was no one specific moment where a lot of guys be like, oh, I saw this and that's what made me want to become a professional wrestler. It's just always been in my head that that's something I wanted to do. I should have done it a whole lot earlier than I did. It wasn't until I was 30 years old when I finally broke in.
Okay. Who trained you?
Here's a story about that.
Tell me.
Yeah, I got trained by a local guy here in Jacksonville.
Okay.
The old saying is you get what you pay for.
Okay.
I got what I paid for.
It was good or it was bad?
He didn't really teach me much. He told me how to bump. He taught me a combined total of 4 chain holds and how to reverse those one time. That's it. Our whole training was basically us just going in there and bumping around and giving each other matches at the I wouldn't even say complex because it was in his front yard. But yeah, I mean, that's one advice I'll give to anybody. If you want to be a professional wrestler, go to a legitimate school that has guys that has been around doing it for a while that you know of, that you heard of, because I basically wasted like the first 2 years of my career because he was also one of those guys that was, you can't go work nowhere else. You can only work here in my promotion. And
do you have a contract or not?
No. And being green, I didn't know anything about the business. He'll fill your head. He's one of the guys. He'll fill your head with, oh, this is how you make it. This is what you do. You need to stick with one company. You need to work going places. But going back and looking at it now, I'm just like, man, I should have left a lot sooner than I did. But it is what it is. It got me into the business. It taught me. I still knew how to bump. I still knew, how to perform a move safely and all that. It wasn't until afterwards when I started working guys that was a lot more experienced than me that I realized I didn't know a damn thing. And when it comes to psychology of the ring and putting together matches and not just going out there and doing 100 moves for no reason.
Oh my God! How many years have you been a wrestler so far?
I'm going on almost 9 years now.
Okay, heel or face?
Heel. Heel. I can count and on the number of one hand how many times I've worked face in 8 years.
Oh
this ain't a baby. This ain't a baby face.
Correct. Yeah. Okay, Vernon Black. Is that your real name or not?
That's my work name. That's not my shooting name.
Okay. So why the name Vernon Black?
Well, when I was a kid, we was on online role-playing fantasy leagues, and it was one of the names that I'd come up when I was a teenager. Back then, Vernon Black, I was the Death Trap Vernon Black, and it was more of a submission-based martial artist guy. But you come up with all these characters and promos that you would type down and do that. So, I already had a feel of putting together different characters. doing promos, even though it wasn't out loud, you still do it in your head while you're sitting there typing it back, whenever you're teenage years on the computer and stuff. So, I mean, I think that actually helped me out a little bit when it comes to the creativity of putting together, characters and putting together storylines and stuff like that to help you out.
Okay. Let's remember your first day. How do you feel that day, in your first match?
My first match?
Yeah?
Here's a funny story.
Okay.
I had gear that it was being made. And about 2 weeks before the show, that woman canceled on me. So I'm sitting there within 2 weeks rushing to try to find some kind of gear to put something on. I ended up finding something, but it wasn't the right kind of tights. It didn't have the waistband, the 2-inch waistband that you're supposed to have to hold everything together. I got some made. I went there. The match itself, I literally was training like 2 months before I had my first match.
Okay.
So I didn't know. I didn't do a whole lot, but I still performed all my moves like I was supposed to. All that went well. The jitters was there like crazy. Like before I went out, my hands was just doing that right there. Yeah. I mean, it was the biggest rush I've ever had in my life. But the funny part of the story, though, those tights that I had didn't want to stay up. Yeah, so my name is the Dealer. Well, after that match, I got dubbed the Crack Dealer because my pants kept wanting to fall down and my crack kept showing. I hadn't lived that one down. And I probably shouldn't have told that story because now everybody's going to call it to me again.
But do you win or do you lose that match?
I lost that match. And I was a heel then too, so I attacked him after the match. But yeah.
So you lost and you also show your crack on that match. Oh my God.
Yeah, it was a great first start.
Yeah, very great. Okay, have you won any tag title, something like that, on this year that you have been a wrestler, or so far you haven't won any?
No, I mean I've held about 8, 9 titles so far. I've had a couple of I Go Wrestle tag team titles with Bravo, AIWF Southern tag team titles. Let's see, Sunbelt tag team titles. That's 3 with them, and then I've held a few world titles or heavyweight titles. GWE, CFWE, OCW.
Okay.
I've had, I pretty much just about every place that I've been for a significant amount of time, I've won a title.
Oh my God. Okay. So do you belong right now to any wrestling company or you are independent wrestler?
I'm independent. I go where the money takes me. And if you want to book
God.
me and you got the money for me, I'll go work for you. Right now, I'm at a point of my career to where I'm looking at promotions now on the talent that they book.
Okay.
And because I've done promotions where it's more quantity than it was quality.
Okay.
And I'm trying to do right now more quality bookings with better talent, better production, better viewership. Because I'm 38 years old right now. I've got one final big push in me.
Okay.
And I want to make sure it's for the best promotions, working the best talent. And I got rid of a lot of these other promotions that's drawing like 10, 15, 20 people because it's not really worth the time for me to go out there and do it right now.
Okay. Have you ever had a hardcore match?
I've had a couple. Had a tag team hardcore match, and I've had a singles hardcore match, which was against my old tag team partner. After we split, it culminated into one big rivalry, and we had one big, huge hardcore match. I ended up beating him with a pipe wrench and to win that match.
Okay. No, because I just saw a promo that you're gonna have a cage match soon. So have you ever had a cage match before or not?
This will be my very first cage match, and it's something I've been looking forward to. I've been wanting to win. And not only is it a cage match, but it's also a hardcore cage match.
Oh,
so there will
my.
be weapons inside of the cage. So I really feel bad for my opponent because he's got to get the break speed off of him.
Okay, you just told me before the interview that you live near the AEW Dark. Why don't you go over there? Maybe, talk to them and say, hey, here I am. Can I give it a try?
Oh, I mean, that's the plan I am. But they say they just started doing that down there at Orlando. I live in Jacksonville, to where they was doing the Dynamites at. But unfortunately, I worked my shoot job, and I worked from 2 to 10 p.m., so I couldn't just go up and show up there because that's when they was doing their shows. But with the Dark, they do it at different. I'm not sure what time or when they do it. I have to find out. But definitely, like I said, I know a bunch of people that go down there that have been working on the show, so I can get a hold of somebody, and I'm gonna end up going down there just even if that's just to go introduce myself. A lot of the times, if I show up at a show, the guys are gonna look at me and promoters. I'm 6'3". I'm 245 pounds. I look like a wrestler, so the guys are gonna look at me. You got your gear? Yep. All right, come on. I've gotten on so many shows because of that.
Okay, would you like to go to Mexico too? To Mexico?
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome. Like some of my favorite wrestlers, so got their start over there, like Rey Mysterio. Whenever I was younger, I wasn't a big dude. Like when I was younger, I was small. I had a big growth spurt. So Rey Mysterio was like one of my favorites back in the day. When he was WCW and Cruiserweight, him and Eddie Guerrero and all that. And they got their start over there in Mexico. So did Jericho. He was over there, and like that would be a place to learn more of a different style as well. Like, obviously I'm not going to get out there and start doing head scissors and hurricane ranas and stuff, but I can work with guys that do that. Like, I love that big man, little man match where, especially with the luchadors, they could do all their little flying head scissors, doing all that stuff, and then I could just stop them and chunk them.
Yeah. And how about New Japan?
Yeah, I haven't, to be honest with you, I haven't really watched much of the New Japan stuff.
Okay.
Like, I see some stuff here and there, but like I'm not online all the time watching it. So like a lot of the guys I don't know, I know they're stiff as hell over there. I've seen some of the matches, and I'm like, wow. All right.
Have you saw the hardcore matches over there?
Yeah, I've seen some of them, and I'm like, no.
You wouldn't like it over there?
Over there, I don't know, man, because they do some crazy stuff over there, man.
Yeah.
Barbed wire, death matches. Like, nah, look, I can do hardcore matches, but I ain't messing with no light tubes. I ain't messing with no barbed wire. I ain't messing with no glass. I ain't into all of that death match stuff. To me, that ain't wrestling. That's glorified backyarders that just want to throw people into stuff.
How about explosive barbed wire?
Kiss my ass.
I saw that kind of matches.
No.
That's the way that Mick Foley loses his ear with a barbed wire. He just get the ear in the barbed wire. That's why he loses his ear. So you can imagine the toughness of those kind of matches.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be tough. You got to be crazy. And unless you paying me a whole hell of a lot of money,
no way, you're not going.
I say I don't mind hardcore. Give me a steel chair, give me a kendo stick,
Okay.
give me some tables, give me some stuff like that. But when you want to go all crazy and jump off 30-foot balconies through glass tables covered in barbed wire on fire with your grandma underneath, no, I'm good with that.
Okay.
I don't need all that.
Okay. You just said that you right now are 38 years old, correct?
I'm 38 years old. I got started when I was 30.
Okay. Are you not worried that you could have a hardcore match that you can hurt in a very bad way?
Luckily, so far, knock on wood, I have not been injured. I've tweaked some things.
Okay.
I've bruised some things.
Okay.
I've bumps and bruises and stuff like that. But the one good thing about me and my style is I don't do nothing. And people hate me for it. I ain't got to do a freaking Canadian destroyer off the freaking ring apron through a table. No, I'm gonna punch you in the head, gouge your
Okay.
eyes. And people hate me for it. So like my style, just like Miz, Miz don't do nothing, and
No.
he's had one injury and how long? But he can still go out
Mm,
there. He can still go out there and provoke a reaction out of somebody
yeah.
by just running his mouth or doing something heelish, and the crowd's gonna hate him. And that's what I pretty much do. Like my style. I'm not out there doing 100 flips and doing crazy spots that's going to injure myself. If I look at somebody and I'm
Okay.
like, they want me to do this, and I don't feel comfortable with it, I'm like, no, we could do something else that makes sense that still makes you look good.
Okay. Have you ever thought about the possibility of using a mask or not?
Nah, I don't. I don't think I can breathe. Like I don't even like wearing the mask that you got to do
Okay.
now with the COVID stuff. I just can't. I can't have nothing over my face like that. It's I'm a big
Okay.
dude anyway. I get out there and start breathing too hard, I'm gonna be.
It's going to be a lot of problem then.
Yeah. So I got
I
my
really,
tag team partner. Let him do all the work.
okay, but I really hope that I can see you in a big league because you look like a guy who deserve it.
I appreciate it. I mean, like I say, that's the main goal there. Uh, I got one big hard push on me. I give it another 5-6 years. If I ain't done nothing by then I'll probably be winded down. But I at least want to get on there and show the world what I can do. Just
Just a little advice. Don't you never get a big ego.
me an ego? No.
It's just that you have to remember the first company that gave you your chance, the first person who gave you an interview, and maybe you get to a big company, you're gonna be like, who is this guy that he said that he gave me an interview? Who are you, or who are this company that give me the first chance? Because sometimes you could be in a big league, but then they fire you, and you try to get into that first company you was, and they're gonna say, you have a big ego. I don't want you in here.
When it comes to being in the ring and in my promos and all that, I got the biggest ego you'll ever see. When it comes to being professional and working with companies and promotions, I leave that out because they're paying me. So I'm not going to do
Mm.
nothing to make them mad. But if you get me in the ring, I'm going to tell you how much better I am than you because, well, we know it's the truth. But
That's great. So far, that's great. Okay, if people want to reach you on the social media, how can they do it?
basically all I have is Facebook and Instagram, the Vernon Black on Instagram, and then obviously just Vernon Black. I got the dealer Vernon Black is my fan page, and then I got a regular page Vernon Black on Facebook. I tried Twitter, I just can't get the hang of it. I'm just like,
Okay.
and
I understand you. Mi gente, Vernon Black. Vamos a darle, ¿verdad? Vamos a escribirle para más entrevistas. Si ustedes quieren verlo en su país, pues escríbanle también para que vaya a su país. If somebody wants to give you more interviews, if somebody wants you on the country to wrestle, they can talk to you, they can reach you, and then you can go anywhere they want you to be. That's correct?
That is correct. I'm always open to go out of state, out of country, anywhere you want to travel. Like the more exposure, the more experience, the better.
Do you have any words before we end the interview?
The last words is like I tell everybody in every promo that I ever have. You're looking at the dealer, Vernon Black, and sooner or later, everybody is going to realize why you should always bet on Black.
Bueno, mi gente, esto ha sido todo por el momento, la entrevista del día, pendiente a una nueva entrevista. Thank you very much, Mr. Vernon. I wish you the best of the best. You deserve it.
Thank you, sir. Have a good one.
Have a nice day. Okay, so